back to basics for this one, I think, for line and wash. But a couple of questions have been asked over the last day or so. What do I use to scrape out the rocks, or what do I use for making the rocks? Well, just a piece of plastic card. Look, credit card, old credit card, new credit card, debit card, store card. Just cut it into pieces that actually work. It's not a guitar plectrum, but you could use that. But you need the straight edge. But I always keep a round corner. Otherwise, the points will dig in when you scrape away at the wet paint. So that's that. So just a plastic card and a pair of scissors. I apologise for any noise that will permeate through 2 floors. We're having a new boiler fitted today, and the friend's busy drilling holes in the wall for the condensate pipe and this, that and the other. So I hope he's done most of the drilling. So with line and wash, you can use whatever colour, whatever makes a mark, as long as it's waterproof if you're going to put a watercolour over it. So I've got a couple of part-used bottles of black ink, acrylic artist's ink. This is black drawing ink, the old Indian ink. But because I've got a lot of it, a big tube of it, black, it's very inexpensive, I just squeeze a little bit of the black acrylic. This is Mars black, as it happens, and dilute it with a bit of water. And I use various number of riggers to make the marks that I want. And it's very simple, really. If you try it and it doesn't work, it doesn't mean to say you can't do it. It means that you haven't done it enough. You've got to practice these things over and over and over again until you can do your own work that is acceptable to you. And remember, there will always be people better than you, whatever you do. So that's my advice. I learnt to do this the hard way, and there's the drilling. Right, so I'm going to do just a simple country scene with some winter trees, and see where we go. I'm not copying anything. I'm just making this up as I go along. And I tend to hold the brush like that. You get more impressionist, more hit and misses. If you do this, it's all right for the fine branches and the trees, but for the rough stuff, you want a random effect. So just start to just put it in the shape of a landscape. Try to make everything different. So we'll have a path coming across here, and we'll have a 5-bar gate, which is very common in the UK. Used to be made of wood, but now they're mostly made out of tubular metal for I suppose for expense and long-livedness. So just put in the hedgerow. If I was using pure watercolour, I would scrape out with a card. Right, so this is just the start. This is just the bushes to either side of the 5-bar gate, which I shall put in at the moment. Right, so rough sort of landscape. What I don't really like about this, and I did it on the other one, is that all the 4 lines of the path and so on converge at one spot. Well, that's the vanishing point, or the focus, but you can put that where you like. You can put it up here. So a third up, third in, but maybe it would have been better there. But hey, we all do things not quite according to the book. Right, what was I going to do? I'm going to use this inch flat. I'll dampen it and longevity, that's the word I was thinking of. So I'll put in a sketchy 5-bar gate. So this is all coming across here. Very too thin, I want it to show up. and then we've got, remember the cantilevers, go that way. Okay, and then you'll have the edge of the, well, I'll use an inch, the ½ inch one now. So that's the edge of the gate, and then we've got the large gate posts. And then we can have some, when you show fences, just put bits in, don't put the whole lot in, just leave something for the imagination to put in. It's going uphill a bit there. That's okay. Okay, I'll cover a lot of that up, but same here. And then disappearing behind the scrubby bushes, can reappear here and there. Right, okay. So what I've done is just indicated rather than put the whole lot in. It's what you leave out that's important with this type of painting. We're not painting photographically. Right, now with my little brush, go back to the hedgerow now, or the marker. So here we are. So we'll put a bit of heavier foliage in here. And it all starts to make sense as you persevere. But you do need to practice. You can make, I know, going ahead of myself, I used to do this with a stick, with a sharpened twig, something you could pick up off the ground. But I seem to be making better headway with a brush. That's the danger, that it floods. So you have to make that a feature. A bit of hardened, soft, lost and found. Bits of grass. Okay, so now we're going to put in some trees. Now bearing in mind the size of your gate, it's about probably mid-waist high, well mid-chest high, so 4 to 5 feet off the ground. So that will give you the scale of the trees. You don't want whacking great trees that in scale would be hundreds of feet off the ground. I love doing winter trees. They are such lovely subjects to do, and you can make them as elaborate as you like. You just loose lines, but remember that the trunk has got to hold the whole tree up. So they need to be substantial, otherwise the thing would topple over, wouldn't it, with the sheer weight of it. Alright, let's pull it rogue here out. Okay. Now, I'm not going to put in buildings or something. This is the middle of the countryside. This is a walk in the Surrey Hills, or a walk in Norfolk. The smoothie, Maddie and Maxine come from those parts. And seem to latch on anything that says Norfolk. So this is a walk in Norfolk. Maybe we'll put a spire in, church spire. Because Maxine, I think, pointed out some months ago that you wouldn't have a Norfolk scene without a church somewhere in the view. Right, so I'm going to make this one just a little bit larger. Just to balance that one. So this is supposed to be simple. Now you can see that I'm not making any great effort about this. I'm just putting it in. Alright, okay. Put a bit of a stopper there. Keep your eye on the picture. Otherwise, the eye will go up the hill and straight off the picture, but we want to stop that. So just put some heavier detail in here, a bit of bushes. Just using the heel of the brush to show some canopy. Oh, that's gone wrong there. It doesn't matter, that's just only an example. Let's get it shorter. We'll use this one here. Now the idea is to try to get the shape, pleasing shape. Okay, so that'll do for that. This is, get some more from there. Oops. Right, okay, I can put some fine tracery into there. We're going to do something over here now. So, that brush works all right as well too, doesn't it? But these are largely worn out brushes, but just because they're worn out of one thing doesn't mean to say they need to be thrown away, because they live as another tool. They do different things. One this smaller than the other one. Bit of distance. Sometimes you do this and the clumps look like ferns. Ferns, or I don't know, cow pasture, I don't know, something that looks a bit like a cauliflower, and it doesn't quite look right. But only experience will, and constantly looking, will tell you what's right and what's wrong. Right. So it's looking very attractive now. I'm on a V. Let's just get some rough stuff in there. Okay. Great fun. I love it at this stage where you've got this wonderful contrast between the black and the white paper. It's a real pleasure. Right, as promised, let's put a... No, let's get that. I was thinking of putting a spire here somewhere. Let's bung it in there. Ooh, that's a bit, that brush is actually a little bit thick for that. So let's just go get that right up there. All the pebble dashes next door, they're doing all the reshingling. They're looking at my channel. One's got a son that's interested in painting, so I'm going to have a look at my channel. It's like the proverbial chair leg, isn't it? Right, let's put that down. Right, go back to this little brush here. Dry it, get a little bit of that. No. Just wants a little bit of bush and trees, distance showing here and there. Okay, this way to the church. Although sadly a lot of rural churches haven't got the population to support them, which is a great shame. Right, that will do then. Right, carry on now, carry on the other side, on the right hand side. Maybe a nice oak tree there. Just trying to catch the high spots of the paper. This will have a load of ivy, this one. The last boiler lasted, well, it's still going strong really. It's 20 years old, but it's so inefficient now. Sooner or later it will pack up, and we usually go in the middle of the winter. We thought, well, we'll lash out on the expense. Steve's getting on now, but the journeyman that taught him everything he knows about gas fitting was an old friend who did all my work for years, and he worked for the gas board for 25 years. And sadly has passed away, but his apprentice, 60-year-old Steve, is carrying on the tradition. Does all our family work. Right, okay. Look, see, you can. I'm just painting this from memory. Now, you do get lots of branches crisscrossing, coming back on themselves. and they're very, very wiggly, the ends of the... I can't paint the wall with beer all day. I might watch this in as another demo, but I'd rather spend a bit of time on this, showing you just the approach to doing this. Have a look at Smoothie's work, his drawings. He's a fantastic draftsman. I could only approximate, I just have the page, I couldn't do it. That's what Smoothie does, and he's a wonderful, wonderful master with a pencil. But we're all different. He likes what I do because I'm much freer in my approach. Now, we have loads of, you've got lots of little tiny branches just coming all over the place. Over there, we can put in a little bit of ivy. Why not? So let's move that. There. And just touching the paper, just catching the high spots, so that some of the trunk shows through. See, this is where you get lost, but this is all from observation. You've got to open your eyes. All my skies, when I paint them, they don't really always look realistic until you see one. So all your looking does come in handy sometimes. See, most people walk along looking down. I walk along looking up, see what's going on in the sky. I come right up into the canopy. What's difficult about that? Just a bit of painstaking, that's all. Right, so we've got to put in the canopy, so I'll use that little brush again. Get it nice and dry. Just a little test at the bottom. Now, once read, and it's true to a certain extent, that the shape of the tree mirrors the shape of the leaf. Now, you'll have to go and have a look for yourself, and I've only seen it in some instances. Remember, you've got stuff going on behind the tree. Ooh. Some of this here, block it to the side. And then we'll have I will do some painting on this, but we'll call this part one. Just fill that in a little bit there, disguise it. Now we're going to do a little bit more work in the filigree. So with the number one, we'll a bit of water, and we'll just go into this just a little bit. Don't know what tree this is. Not really a chestnut, but it doesn't really matter, does it? It just says tree. Probably needs to be a little bit thicker than that. Remember I said that the canopy is very heavy, many tons. So the tree has to be very substantial to hold the weight of it. Oh, put in a little bit of ivy on here then. See, you can always disguise your wayward strokes with some ivy. Some people think that ivy is destroying the tree, but the ivy is just using the tree as a support. I'm sure someone's going to disagree with that, but that's what I heard. That's what I read anyway. You know, I had a friend with all these walks in the Surrey Hills or Norfolk, and we went everywhere in English country cottage holidays, and he was always pulling the ivy off of the trees, and that used to really go up my nose because I used to think it was so lovely to paint. Right. So I hope this, I know it looks complicated because I put a lot in it now, but you can see, if you go back over it, you'll see how I built it up. And it's just, look, it's all just gently stroking the paper with a bit of paint on the brush. Right. Just sticking the base of that up a little bit. And a little bit more in the oak tree on the right. Now, because it's a drawing, I'll spend a little bit more time on doing this, otherwise it won't be a demonstration. But I want this just to show you how I go about this with just a little bit more explanation. Right, okay, I don't think I want to do much more than that. Just put a bit more stronger. Oh, wrong one. Oops, throw my brushes around. Just more here. And I'll draw into that bit. That's my bit that I squeezed out. You see that? Just a little bit there. And I've used nothing of it, but it just comes out in that amount from the tube. So that gets wasted, so that hurts me. Probably about half a penny's worth, if that. Right, I'll sign that. I've got to do some work in there, yeah. Well, I'll sign it while I think about it. And I'll go back and do some grasses. Right, grasses. A bit of strength in there to balance that bit to the left. I'll put this in a mount in a minute. We'll have a look at it. Just rough this up, a bit of texture. Then I'll put in some some of that. Needs a bit of water. Show some coming from outside the picture. Okay, and we'll do a bit here. This shows the bit of shadow and the lie of the land, so it's going uphill. Just showing the shape of that landscape. And I'm going to put lovely warm colours over that, lovely siennas. Really dry brush in here. Hardly any water on the brush, just some flicks and flourishes. Okay, right, let's put that in a mount. I'll put it in the ivory mount because it seems to be more sympathetic. I'll put a man in there somewhere. If I remember. Right, okay, put this mount in. So, all it needs now is a bit of colour wash on it. And we have another, very simple, but painstaking. Let's bring you round and show you. Now, somebody else mentioned about, I might have said this in the last demo, about bringing the camera closer to what I do so they can see it, but I can't come any closer than I show you, because otherwise you're going to lose a load of the picture. So you'll have to rely on just the close-ups that I do now, and you can always enlarge it yourself, can't you? Right, see, there's our little church. I'll put a background, a slightly hilly background behind that. So that is the land. There are the trees. There's my oak tree. And there's my distant church. Not so distant. Right, let's zoom out. Have a look at that for a few moments. Right, have a go at these things yourself. The important thing is to make one side different than the other side. So that's bigger than that. There's 3 trees here, 2 there. That one's different to that. Otherwise your painting gets a bit out of balance. So thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.